Has your manhood been wilting of late? Then buy this powder made of a unicorn's horn. No luck at dice? Rabbit paws of all colors, shapes, and sizes. Hosts based in the Temple of Jerusalem.
If it's a bath you're after, I'm afraid you're out of luck.
Oh? How's that?
We're closed. A terrible thing has happened.
Really? What?
The water in the tubs has turned to blood.
Water turned to blood? You're having me on, right?
I wouldn't have believed it myself if I hadn't seen it with my own 2 eyes. Turned to blood.
But that's impossible. How could that happen?
Well, there's been talk that there's a Revenant on the loose. Jesus preserve us. People's rosaries are going missing. That's the work of dark forces. The hens round here have been hexed. They're laying charcoal instead of eggs.
Where did this Revenant come from?
There was a charcoal burner who had a tragic fate, and he was buried hereabouts, in unhallowed ground. They say he's risen from the grave to take revenge on the locals.
Yeah, I heard of him. What does he want to avenge? The death of his wife?
Hers, and his own, too.
His death? Why? I heard what happened before, but I don't know how he ended up.
I can't tell you that. Some of the older folk still remember, but they ain't keen to talk about it.
Why blood in the baths?
Well, the wife of that fella, who they say has returned from the grave, she bled to death in childbirth, and none of the bath maids that was here at the time helped her. That's why.
And what about your other services? Are you still doing business?
Aye, for now. Who knows how long, though. What do you need?
let's have a word about the price.
Well, we can try it.
Is this enough?
We're getting there. Just drop the price a bit more. Finally, a reasonable sum.
Problem in the stomach also? Buy my potions made from magical herbs plucked from the flanks of Mount Olympus. Powder made of the bones of St. Thomas.
God save Henry.
I hope I can be of some humble service to you.
You look a bit worried, Bailiff.
How can I not be? What with the whole village complaining about ghosts?
Ghosts?
An empty grave that they say a revenant crawled out of. They talk of nothing else.
You don't think there's any truth to it?
No, it's nothing but old wives' tales.
But how come the grave is empty?
You don't need any magic to dig up a grave. A spade will do.
But why would anyone do that? Surely no God-fearing Christian would dig up the grave of some poor soul who hasn't even got the piece of hallowed ground to rest in.
A God-fearing Christian? No.
So you suspect someone?
Could be. There's been a band of good-for-nothing itinerants hanging around recently. They weren't making any trouble, though, so I let them be. But this is going too far.
How do you know it was them?
Who else would it be?
What about the Revenant?
Oh, don't you start. That Revenant of yours is nothing but idle hands doing the devil's work. I'd send them packing myself if I had the time and the men.
A hero is what you need for a job like that. If you could find one.
From what I hear, you could be just the man for the job.
Oh, since you put it like that, how could I refuse?
Good. But no bloodshed, please. Just send them packing.
Who are these people?
Just some itinerants who'd rather roam the roads than do an honest day's work. They're not cutthroats, though, just petty thieves and beggars.
What are they doing here?
Damned if I know. Or where they came from. Except for one fella who's from Ledechko. But the rest are from God knows where.
Are they armed?
As much as any thief. Who isn't these days?
Where can I find them?
Last I heard, they were a bit away from the village, across the river by the old mine.
That's all I need to know. I'll get going.
Good luck. See you later.
Good wife.
You're still here, lad? I thought you'd have fled by now.
Fled? Why on earth would I do that?
Because there's a revenant on the prowl. The whole village is talking about it, and everyone is terrified.
Ah, that. But I heard there's one brave lad who's not afraid.
You mean Felix?
Well, I don't know what his name is, but he's always arguing in the tavern that there's no Revenant.
That's him. The fool doesn't believe what's going on under his own nose. He hasn't the sense he was born with.
He even said he'd spend the night at the graveside, just to prove there's no Revenant.
Aye, all talk and no action.
Is he brave or just stupid? Surely he's afraid of something.
I couldn't tell you. But if he's to be believed, he doesn't fear the devil himself.
And do you believe him?
Well, it's true he never seems bothered by anything. But then he's always with that other pair.
What pair?
2 mates of his.
But he was alone in the tavern.
Aye, they're not locals, but outside the village, wherever he goes, they go with him.
Who are these 2 fellas?
They're not bad lads, but they're no heroes, that's for sure.
How's that?
Them 2 have their fears, but then who doesn't?
What are they afraid of?
The first one wouldn't even go into the woods alone, because he's afraid of wild animals.
Ah, is that so? I wonder why.
He got lost in the forest as a young lad, and he wasn't found till next morning. Shaking and pale as a ghost he was when they found him.
Poor lad. He must have been scared out of his wits.
That he was.
What about the other one?
He's afraid of fire.
Why?
His own father burned him, God forgive him. As a young lad, he was playing with fire and nearly set fire to the house. So his pa taught him a lesson he wouldn't forget.
Poor lad. That's a terrible way to teach a child.
My words, exactly.
Ah, it's been an interesting chat. Thanks, good wife.
What's the matter,
What are you
laddie?
up to
Need
here?
shit?
Lost something?
Ladies and gentlemen, good men and good wives, come closer. Poor or rich, old or young, there's something here for everyone. Magical ointments, protective amulets, love potions and talismans to give you the luck of the angels.
This brave fella, Felix his name is, if we can get him to spend the night at the grave, he won't be alone. Wherever he goes, he always has 2 mates tagging along.
Like he's afraid to be alone.
Could be.
So, if we could get him there alone, it shouldn't be too hard to scare him.
Maybe, maybe not. He claims he's not afraid of anything.
That's easy to say. I'm not so sure. Only, we have to get rid of the other 2. What do you know about them?
One of them is afraid of wild animals. Won't even go into the woods on his own.
I see. And the other one?
He's afraid of fire, but I doubt an ordinary campfire would do the trick.
Well, we'll think of something. Anyway, you take care of the first one.
How, though?
Haven't you learned anything from me? Talk to a dog.
Of course. Why didn't I think of that? Any particular one, Master?
The most frightening one, of course.
And how am I supposed to recognise him? One looks the same as another.
By his bark, naturally. Can't you hear him? He'd scare the wits out of anyone.
That's a dog.
Either that or Satan in the guise of a beast.
All right. And what do I do with him?
Have a conversation with him and see if you can mimic his bark.
Yeah, great idea. People will think I'm barking mad.
Good luck then. Has your manhood
Come on then. Bark. What a beast you are. All right, let's see.
Hey,
Ruff. Ruff.
well,
Again. Boo. Boo. Woo. Woo. Boo. 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 That's still not quite it. Yeah. Boo. 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 That's it. And now I'm officially the village idiot.
Who are you?
May the Lord watch over you, Henry.
Hey! Hosts based in the Temple of Jerusalem. Hey, Henry's come to see us. So, how did you get on?
I found that mutt. Although from the noises it made, you'd hardly guess it was a dog.
So you've learned to bark.
I have, master.
So bark.
I never thought I'd stoop so low. Moo! Moo!
Perfect.
But what if it's not enough?
Ah, ye of little faith. Besides, can you think of any other way?
If we want to have him there on his own, I could always knock the other two out.
And what if he finds them unconscious?
I can always haul them off somewhere he won't find them.
Just make sure you don't botch it, Henry. It could easily turn very sour.
Don't worry. But what about the other fella?
Ah, yes, apprentice. You have the good fortune to witness a genius at work. Watch and learn. An oil lamp.
An oil lamp?
Precisely. Isn't it ingenious?
A marvellous invention, I grant you. But what do you want to do with it?
That's the clever part. I've hung a lamp like this over the Revenant's grave. All you have to do is shoot it down. It'll fall on the grave and burst into flames.
Well, that could work. Only...
Only what?
How can you be sure I'll manage to shoot it down?
I believe in you, Henry. You're my apprentice, versed in the ways of our craft.
Right, I almost forgot.
Anyway, you can practice. The lamp is already hanging up. It just hasn't been lit yet.
Aye, I'll give it a go. And then what?
Then you just have to goad our Felix into putting his money where his mouth is.
But what if he doesn't fall for it?
Refusing would ruin his credibility. Go and see him. I'll bet you anything, if you present it right, he'll jump at it.
All right, I'll give it a try.
Good. Don't delay, though. Practice with the lamp first, if you like, or just go straight to him. Wine squeezed from grapes, cultivated from a rose bush. powder made of the bones of St. Thomas. Has your manhood been wilting of late? Then buy this powder made of a unicorn's horn.